severely damaged.
Well, how the hell are you guys doing? Welcome back, it's business, and yep, I've been absent. A lot of reasons for that. A lot of headaches, unfortunately, lately. Some tension and allergy headaches that have just really prevented me from sitting down and doing anything on my computer outside of streaming. Basically, if I wasn't streaming, I was not at my computer at all. Like, just, nope, no thanks. Really tough series of weeks for me on that front. It just felt like somebody was using sending a marching band through my fucking head, basically. Pretty much all times of the day and night. So very bad sleep from that too. And you know, the other aspect of the lack of videos is you know, no real compelling reason to do so. A lot of changes with the game, and I just didn't really feel like talking about them. I didn't feel like the anything I had to say was really all that positive, because I just don't agree with pretty much anything that wargaming does anymore. So, you know, what is there for me to talk about? And I just kind of wanted to have some good matches or like fun things to show you guys. And double strike, yes, and set that one up pretty well. I was happy about that. I honestly didn't expect the 10 Ryu to come charging in like that. I totally lost track of that guy, and I felt like I got lucky there being caught with my pants down and still getting out of it. But you know, when it comes to the game as it currently stands, yeah, there's changes to smoke, and I do think it's really strangely lopsided in some instances. And honestly, I have not touched tier 10 much at all. Like, I played a few games with the Zao, and that was it. You know, the last couple weeks, and mostly it's been just trying to have some fun with the lower tier stuff, just because honestly I can't deal with this shit at high tier anymore, and I don't want to. So, you know, want to throw down at low tier where the gameplay can be, despite the ships being slower, it can be a lot faster and a hell of a lot more hectic, as everybody's kind of like drawn into a smaller arena of battle, if you will. So the Izyaslav, I really do think, is probably the best tier 4 destroyer. The V170 is really good. I love playing that, but it doesn't have the gunboat ability that this does. The Clemson's a really good ship too, and it has fantastic torpedo ability. Nothing better than running through a group of enemies and dumping, you know, torp racks. You've got 4 to each side on 4 different targets. That is hilarious. I mean, it almost never happens, but holy shit, when it does, you feel like a champion, like Chuck Norris of the sea or something. But you know, with the Clemson, the guns to me are really bad on that. I hate the dispersion on them, and I really try to avoid using the guns whenever I can. It just, they're a huge letdown compared to the ones on the Izyaslav. But, you know, it's Russian, and that's how it goes, right? But, yeah. Aside from that, though, you know, really haven't played anything much above the Scharnhorst or the Akatsuki. And you'll see some of that in a moment, and I'll talk a little bit about the Japanese destroyers and how I got screwed. But, you know, with the game, though, right now, there's some good changes that they've done, and a few changes where I'm just like, you gotta be kidding me. And the smoke change was, honestly, they needed to do something about it. And now that we know that the like the Minotaur and things like that are going to get a 15-second smoke duration, that'll help them out a little bit, be able to set them up a little bit better. And I don't know, like in these instances, basically the whole problem here with smoke is that it's too offensive. It needs to be more of a defensive measure. And, you know, I think penalizing battleships the way that they are, however, is really bad for the game. And by that I mean, you're a battleship, say you're in Bismarck, and you want to push up and help lead a charge, but then you realize, you know, maybe there's a couple enemies there that you didn't expect. Well, okay. You turn around, you know, when you have the opportunity to, and you have somebody coming to lay smoke for you, but you want to hold that position, you know, anchor it down. Jeez, not like old puns. You want to hold that position to the best of your ability without sacrificing that forward progress, and you want to still be able to punish and, you know, inflict damage and project that power and overlap that so your team can move up to get up there with you, right? Well, if you're in the smoke now, obviously you're screwed on that front as a battleship. So all that does is push people back, and just it makes them more hesitant than they already are. And yeah, that's not what the game needs. You know, there's in no facet do battleship players, or, you know, not battleship players, anyone who plays battleships, need to have further reason to question whether or not they should move up. And it's just, you know, your secondaries go off, your air, you know, your AA goes off, and boom, now you're spotted. And that sucks ass. And I'm not saying it's, you know, poor battleships or whatever. We just have to figure out a way to motivate people to get the fuck up front and get them moving, get them taking damage and actually using their heals. And Wargaming can't figure that out. They've really made things it's not too easy to play a battleship. It's too easy to do nothing in a battleship. That's more the problem than anything else. I mean, you guys are going to love this whole sequence of events here, and I know this Grafspé's got torps coming. It's just a matter of how close to the island they're going to be. I want to maintain some sort of momentum here, so I'm going to continue pushing forward. So yeah, that's why I'm being aggressive here. And honestly, they're on my damn cap. I want this cap, and I'm gonna do my best to go in and take it. So secure the kill there against the Fuso and Scharnhorst. So yeah, but the Scharnhorst is something that, and I totally forgot that the Grafspé has a quad launcher, not a triple launcher like the Gneisenau or the Scharnhorst. And I don't know why this guy didn't bother sending torps at me. That's what I was really expecting here, that he would, especially after I shot, because he had no real risk, especially knowing that I took out the Fuso there with my starboard torps. But I run the ramming flag, and for some reason I did not go ahead and throw out my port side torps against the Grafspé, because I wanted to see if I could save them for some reason. I don't know why, because I honestly didn't expect coming up alongside of the Dunkirk like this, but goodbye. And now we've got the T-22 to ourselves, but it's just a matter of where the hell those torps are. And because he was limited with his options there because of his teammates up front, he shouldn't have launched them, obviously. Just let it play out and then get close and dump your torps. This is just the best. God, that feels good. It's just one of those situations where the Scharnhorst is perfect at, and like, it just, you get close, shit happens, and it's awesome. But anyways, I just think that the direction they've gone with some of this stuff, of course, has been terrible. And, you know, some of the other decisions, it's always this one step forward, two steps back type of approach, and it's just really frustrating to deal with. And again, the lack of information provided to the players in so many different aspects is a huge problem. And what's going to exacerbate this even further is the upcoming Steam release. And I frankly don't agree with it. I mean, there is nearly 1 million free-to-play players between TF2, Warframe, and Dota 2. The top 3 free-to-play games, and it's something like 950,000 players or whatever at the peak. So that's a huge, huge market. I mean, that's just the free-to-play stuff. you know, and then you consider the people who, you know, typically buy their games or whatever. I mean, the Steam is a massive market. It's a massive amount of exposure. And whatever the problems we have in the game now are only going to be exacerbated by the fact that we have a considerable influx. I mean, I'm expecting a lot of new players, but I don't think I'm being cynical by thinking that, given the way the game has developed over the last couple years, and especially this year, I personally think this has been one fucked up year for this game, on all sorts of fronts, as far as, you know, public relations are concerned, especially, and, you know, many other facets of the game. I just see this being almost, I don't want to say a death knell, but I just don't think it's going to be as positive. It'll be positive for Wargaming. They're going to line their pockets with a ton of money, and they're going to be giving some of that to, you know, Steam, of course, Valve. I don't see how it benefits the average player, especially when we have events like the Halloween event, and nobody knows what the fuck they're supposed to be doing. Because how many people actually watch the damn video? A few thousand? Yeah, that's great. Well, it's going to take 3 or 4 days for people to finally figure out what they should be doing. While we're loading up a map, or, you know, a match, why don't we have tooltips, and especially ones for an event geared to that event? I mean, it's better than nothing that we currently deal with, and it's just, there's nothing that's explained, you know, as far as, hey, your consumables actually affect your team, so go ahead and use those. Like, you know, the carrier for the Halloween event has a disrupt feature. That's huge. The carrier players aren't used to having things like that, you know, or a heal that actually heals their teammates. And that's really frustrating. And I mean, shit, puzzle games have tooltips. I mean, why wouldn't this game? And I'm really blown away by how they can really think out of the box in some respects, and then they can't do some of the most obvious stuff in others. And it just, to me, there's a disconnect there, and I really hope that sometime in the near future that gets corrected, but I just don't have any real expectation of that happening. And, you know, that's just not me being cynical. That's me basing it off of the past experiences with Wargaming, and, you know, their directions and stuff. They lack that, and you've seen it with World of Tanks, because that game has a lot of mechanics that are just not explained properly to the player. It's like a new player, confusing as shit. And, you know, as far as spotting and you know, how to maintain concealment and things like that, it's just, yeah, putting a lot of that stuff into practice is a bit different from saying, like, oh, hey, here we go, here's your tank, have fun. I don't know why I just bounced off of that guy, and why I can't damage him. But, you know, World of Tanks is a whole nother fuck up when it comes to low tier balance, especially. But yeah, who cares about that game? Although I will say, their update for it coming up, the HD maps, that looks amazing. Like, their art department, there's no question that Wargaming's art department, they know what to do. The rest of the departments, though, different matter. But yeah, when it comes to Japanese destroyers, I got screwed. So I have not played these things in a long time. I got up through the, like, maybe a quarter of the way through the Hatsuharu, something like that, and then they did the line split and all that stuff, and I lost all my captains. They weren't, like, what was it? I had my 16-point Minakaze captain was now a 3-point captain. All my other captains gone. Yeah, so I felt great about that. And in this instance, you could tell from me looking at the left, I'm just like, ah, fuck. I really expected to get straight up deleted there, but saw that he fired AP and it just happened to be too far forward. I lucked out big time, and then throw my smoke towards the Gneisenau there, so, or whatever the hell it was. Oh, I think that was the King George, but whatever. It's dead. And then we have somebody like this, which this right here is what I'm expecting the next time I play, like, you know, a few weeks after or whatever it gets released on Steam. So this guy sees me, no question. You know, I'm spotted the whole time, and he shoots his main battery at me. Never turns, not an inch. That's he's at tier 7. What the hell, man? You gotta know by that point, like, yo, there's a destroyer. Turn. Turning is way better than just going in a perfectly straight line. That is astounding. And I totally thought we were boned in this match, like no chance of even making this a fight, because the way our destroyer, who's way in the back, was behaving, he was a goddamn bot basically, and he just, it was really weird behavior. And I don't know, I suspect a lot of people roleplay this game, and you know, that's fine and dandy, but I think people are just so enamored by, oh my god, look at my pretty boat, they forget that they should, or they could be doing something a hell of a lot more useful. But yeah, wish I had this salvo back. We make up for it a little later, but we'll see. But only under 10,000 on the broadside Queen Elizabeth with this ship. I should do a hell of a lot better than that, you know. But yeah, you know, the Japanese destroyers, I feel like I got screwed on that, because I had the Matsuki. I actually kept it. I didn't think it was a bad ship. It's very situational and very much focused on the stealth aspect. And I had the Hatsuharu. I had to buy those damn things back, you know, because the line split and everything, and I had no progress on them or anything. It just, so that really pissed me off, and so I just free XP to the Akatsuki, and I actually really enjoyed it. It's something that I feel like has been screwed heavily by, you know, the additional fighter planes from the skill in the captain's tree, the captain skill tree. I think that was completely unnecessary when I first heard of it, and you know, having played some more of the destroyers again lately, it's just, I really don't see the purpose of that. Yeah, so that's kind of annoying to me, and I don't think there's really anything they can do at this juncture to kind of nullify the power creep that's happened with the Japanese destroyers. And here I'm trying to wait for this guy, because he's top tier, and I'm expecting him to feel like invulnerable because he's top tier and open up his side at some point. So I'm just kind of taking this nice and slow, making sure that I'm ready for that opportunity, like so, because he's obviously dumping his torps towards my New Mexico that's off to my left. And got the shells coming in. Oh yeah, take a third of his health, and that's that. Arizona's a really good ship, and actually a lot of the tier 6 battleships are really good at dishing out damage to the tier 8s if they get the right spot and you know, the right position against them. And the big thing to me is the German battleships will give up a massive amount of damage to a ship like this. Any of the 12 shells that you can throw out, like from the New Mexico, this, or the Fuso, you can do a shit ton of damage to those guys. But yeah, switch over to HE, try to get this guy burning a little bit, and then we're gonna have some fun with the slowest brawl you can imagine. I mean, for the fact that it's tier 6, and I haven't played the Arizona forever. I was just doing a front, like a bow armor check there, because I had no idea whether or not the Arizona could defeat its own frontal armor. The answer is no. 7 bounces. You're gonna see me, what I should be doing here is bringing my turrets to the left. I should already be doing that because of how damn slow these things are, and so this actually almost bites me in the ass, as we are avoiding the ram here just barely, but my gun should be way further back to the left, and I shot at a bad spot there. That was really stupid of me, and he committed to the ram to the point where he should have turned, looked to his left and hit Control X just to get those turrets moving, because he certainly would have me here, but managed to get the right shots right there, and there we go with the Citadel. And as usual, when I'm in the Arizona and bottom tier, I do really well. I'm just saying, 183,000, that's my best damage with it. Yay. But yeah, looking forward to the comments down below. We got 2 videos for you today, so hope you enjoyed the Halloween one too. But I will see you back here soon, and be sure to swing by on Twitch and say hello. I'll see you next time though, guys. Take care.